so it is time for the day 3 recap of Utopia of the Seas, as well as I'm going to go ahead and just combine 2 videos in one, and go ahead and do my overall experience rating everything from A to Z. So first of all, let's go ahead and get into the day 3 recap. Day 3 is always chilled because everybody pretty much gets off the ship with the exception of a few people to go to Coco Cay. Coco Cay is Royal Caribbean's private island. So that day is super chill. There's barely any people on this ship at all. Travel agents, it's a great day to get content, especially if you sail Royal Caribbean a lot and have already been to Coco Cay. Go ahead and take advantage of touring the ship without that many people being on board. Super chill day. We were by, I finished walking the ship and getting my content. We were by the pool majority of the afternoon, and vibes were definitely there. Very diverse. Played a lot of line dance music, R&B music, hip hop. Like, it was a good mix of music that I think a lot of people enjoy that likes to sail and have a good time. Again, I noticed that they are really pushing alcohol. It's available, breakfast, lunch, and dinner. There's a bar inside the buffet area, as well as inside of Windjammer. And somebody standing up literally for you to walk up as if you was like at a football or some type of amusement park to buy alcohol. Last day was seafood day. They had clean, can I get it out? King crab claws, oysters, clams, salmon. I don't think they had lobster on the last night of seafood night. It was definitely there the first day. And again, you can go see the YouTube video I posted, just trying to give y'all a quick overview of seafood night. Okay, so, I mean, that was basically it. So let's get into the overall ship rating everything from A to Z. So onboarding. I had a check-in time of 11 a.m. I got there like literally right at 11 probably. No, because I think I was getting on the ship at 11. So I think I pulled up around 10. Well, I got dropped off at 10:50ish. Smooth. Walk right through. I was actually a little worried because I took a lot of personal things for me to consume while I was on the ship. And it was a lot of liquid. And I got through security with no problem. It was in my lunch bag. I told the lady prior to putting it on there, not the actual officer who was checking the strings, but I told the lady, she said, well, if they say something to you, go ahead and tell them what it is. But no, the bag went right through, no problem. They didn't question me. They didn't ask me. And when I tell you I had about 9 bottles with liquids in it, with different liquids, they didn't say a thing. So I was shocked by that. But onboarding was super smooth. If you've done everything you needed to do, which I think I forgot to do the health check-in the day before on the app. But when I got there, they had the lines for you to check in, but then they had somebody standing in the line. So if you needed additional assistance, you went behind them. Well, I didn't need an additional assistance. She just asked me how I was feeling, and she said, you're all set, and I showed her my passport, and I went through. I apologize. I had the app up to show her the boarding pass, so I scanned that, and I showed her and she took a picture of my passport, and she asked my questions. I was done. And then I turned around and walked through one more security screening, and they scanned, I believe it was the boarding pass. I don't think I had needed my passport after that. It was the boarding pass. And they said Centurion. I said, yes. They said, enjoy yourself. And they read my shirt and then laughed, and I walked through. So again, when I tell you super smooth, wasn't no long line, long wait. And they sent out an email saying, make sure you show up at your time and not earlier. But I think on Icon, I did go a little early, and they still let me through. But again, just respect the time because everything flowed so smoothly. It really did. Exiting this ship was a different story. Still was smooth. I had a time of, I think, I was in group 28 in like a time of 8:40. And I was like, oh, no. I like to get off the ship as soon as possible. But I needed luggage assistance. So if you don't need luggage assistance, you can start getting off the ship at 6:45 a.m. I actually needed luggage assistance. So I had set my luggage out the night before, which you need to do it by 10 for them to pick it up. But I went down to guest services and told them I just want to be off the ship as early as possible. Could they move me? They moved me to 7:40, I believe. Yes, and I went to group 7. But here's the kicker. I was up and ready, so I decided to go downstairs and just kind of like be around for when they call my number so I can get off the ship. Luckily, I did that because around 7:15, I was exiting the ship because they was already on my number. That's just how fast they were moving. Make sure you have your ID out so you can scan. Sorry, not your ID. Your actual cruising card or your band, because they scan you as you leave until you have a nice day or whatever, just to make sure you checked out. Real smooth, real simple. When I tell you, it was so fast. I got downstairs. I went to the section that said was set group 7. Grabbed my luggage. They asked me, did I have a birth certificate, a passport? I kept going through the passport, smiled, and walked through. When I tell you, super simple, not jam crowded, a pack. And again, this is my 6th. Is it 6? Hold on, let me count. 5. I think I'm at 5. 5 different cruise lines. And again, hands down, Royal Caribbean has to be one of the smoothest with boarding and disembarking the ship. Parking. Me personally, unless it's like a quick. Well, this was a quick cruise. I don't park at the. I think I've only done it once. I personally do a one-way rental. Drop that rental off. Get on the ship because it's cheap for me. So I don't park at the ports, but it is right there. So there's not a lot of walking unless you get there early. There's really not a lot of walking to do. Like the parking garage is right there for you. I just mentioned luggage assistance. I had it on here again. If you need luggage assistance, you can drop your luggage off. They'll tag it for you and have it to your room by 3 o'clock. And then the day that you are exiting the ship, there's the time to disembark, put it out the night before 10 p.m. Somebody will come and make sure you put your luggage tag so they group it. Somebody will come pick it up for you and have it ready for you when you actually get off the ship the next day. Customer service, top notch. They walked around asking, making sure you was okay, if there was anything they can do for you. We were sitting like 2 feet from the drink station during lunch and dinner, actually, the last 2 nights, I believe. And they were so adamant, like, we are able-bodied people, and they were so adamant about fixing us drinks, and we was like, we're okay, we got it, like, we don't need the assistance. But I mean, I like it. Housekeeping, guest services, people at the restaurants, like, everybody just wanted to make sure you were okay, even with my dietary restrictions. They want to make sure they had what I wanted because I'm not going to say I was picky. I'm just eating a certain way. And the guy just wanted to make sure because the first night he was like caught off guard. He's like, that's all you eat? I was like, yeah. He was like, you sure? He said, okay, so what do you like? What do you want so I can make sure I have it for you the next night? But we end up going to the buffet because the buffet has a more variety of what I can eat. And we just ended up doing the buffet the last 2 nights of the ship. But the first night we needed to go to the dining room because my little best friend that was on the ship with me, it was his birthday and I wanted them to sing happy birthday to him, which I had prearranged. And they brought him out, I think cheesecake or something. It was some fancy looking slice of cake. So we did sit at the dining room that night. Very fancy food. If you saw the video, I think I just posted it on my actual YouTube page. Not YouTube, I'm sorry. My actual Facebook page was Centauria Thomas. And we wanted to know, is escargot meat? That was the joke of the night because they was trying these different foreign foods that they never tried before. So that was pretty funny. Let's get into kids activities. So let's break it down by age. If they're under 13, the activities for them were limited to the daytime. And after the evening shows, there was really not much for them to do, even though the curfew was at 1 a.m. So unless they're going to be stuck in the arcade the entire time, which all kids don't like that, there was really not much for them to do. Their parents that were on the ship, they're not going to drop their kids off to the daycare to be entertained. Like, no. So to me, if you're under 13, it will be a struggle for them to enjoy Utopia to the fullest, like people 13 and up. And I'm comparing this, and I have to compare this hard. The 7-night sailing with Royal on Icon had more kid-friendly activities, even had a whole area where a kid could be entertained. But it was very, very limited on Utopia. Adult activities and teenage and up, oh, y'all have a blast. There was one section, I was doing the, matter of fact, day 3, I was walking around getting content, touring the ship, and there was an area called the patio for ages 13 to 17. And I went to swipe my card and it was denied. Like, you have to be ages 13 to 17. And then I'm wondering, if your parent is connected to you, would your parent have access to the area, or is it literally for ages 13 to 17? And the patio looked like somebody's like backyard, had a hot tub, a big screen TV, bean bags, games and stuff. And the 15-year-old actually was walking by. He let me in to go up there to see and record, which will be uploaded later. But there were plenty of activities, plenty of competitions for people 13 and up, which led me to believe they really, really, really are trying to make that a party ship, and not so much more of, it can be family friendly, but it depends on the ages of the kids. Zip line. So my little best friend, which is a very smart and athletic young man at the age of 9, he's that guy. He wants to participate in activities and he loves to do stuff. And so we went to go take him to do zip line. He didn't weigh enough. So that was another strike. He wasn't happy. We have to be at least 75 pounds. Here it is. I'm worried about me being too big and he's too small. But you have to be at least 75 pounds to do zip line. That was another strike. We took him to do FlowRider. Well, he wasn't tall enough for FlowRider, and the young lady, she was trying to do her job. But when I tell you he was a centimeter off because the thing came like right on top of his head, he was a centimeter, y'all. Like, she was not budging. He was not allowed to do FlowRider. So another strike. He was not happy. Let's get into the food. Again, we did lunch when we got on the ship. Yeah, they have a 2-sided buffet, and they also have, this is on Windjammer, Deck 15. And they also have a bar in this one. I don't recall seeing a bar at Windjammer on Icon, but they have a bar in Windjammer on Utopia. When you walk in, it's to the right. And again, like I said before, they have people set up serving alcohol for you to see if you want to walk up and buy whatever your choice of drink. But there's a ton of varieties. And then I like when they switch to the theme nights. Now, I don't know what the theme night was for the first night because, again, we ate in the dining hall. But Caribbean night was night 2. And seafood night was night 3. And, of course, they'll keep their regular items like your steaks, your hot dogs, your hamburgers, your fries, your chicken fingers, like the things that people normally like to eat. But then they have a section where that's the theme of the night. And they don't disappoint with how much you can get. Like, they don't spare it all. They have a lot of other restaurants around the ship where you can go. A lot of them are complimentary, included with your selling. Some of them are specialty dining. I never understand, and even when I was in the line at the adult buffet area, which is Bistro, you had gentlemen in the line trying to convince people to go to the specialty dining hall. And I said this before when we sell with Icon. They give away such a variety on the ship in Windjammer for the buffet. Why would somebody want to go to a seafood restaurant unless you really like pulling all the stops? Case in point, they got the Mason Jar restaurant which serves like chicken and waffles. Well, guess what? Lunch on day 2 was serving chicken and waffles. So why would I go to the Mason Jar when I can get it here? So that's just my take. I can't understand it. Elevators. The elevators were smaller, which lets you know it was a smaller ship. Still had the little, you go up, walk, and let it know what deck you're going to. You go on to deck 15. They let you know if you need to get on elevator A, B, C, D, or E. I love it, love it, love it. So you're not standing there waiting and have to go up and down if the elevator's too full and got to wait for the next one. It's so that I don't care what nobody say. Royal Caribbean's elevator situation is top notch, like by far, hands down. I cannot believe I traveled somewhere and did not do a room review as soon as I got there. There was so much going on, so much excitement. I do feel the bathrooms on Utopia are bigger than the ones on Icon, even though they're 2 brand new ships. And I'm plus size. It's not a government secret. But the bathroom to me on Icon, and I had an infinity balcony room that was on Central Park side. Room was gorgeous. Room was humongous. But that bathroom was small. And it was like a square for the shower. And the toilet was here and the sink was here. Like I could sit here and do this. This time, the bathroom, the shower was like a curve. So that gives you extra space. The toilet was next to the sink. So of course I could reach it. But that shower having that curve gave you more space in the bathroom. So yeah, I definitely think the bathrooms on Utopia are bigger than the ones on Icon for the balcony rooms. And if I'm not mistaken, the other room with my other guests in it had a family room. They were on Boardwalk side and their bathroom was similar. So I do feel like the bathrooms on Utopia were bigger. Overall experience of the cruise, I would give it an 8 out of 10. And the only reason why I'm slighting it, and I'm sorry, and I forgot to mention one thing, and I think I mentioned in another video, I was impressed to see they actually had labels. It is very important that when you exited cruises and they send it actually for a review, put it in, because I don't know if they're doing it now on Icon, but I did mention that no one wants to, if you have dietary needs, nobody wants to go into a restaurant every night or go somewhere every night and have to wait for the chef to not be busy to come and walk around with you and tell you what you can eat. Just have it labeled. Have it labeled. That saves a lot of time for a lot of people. But again, nobody was never rude or upset that they had to do it. That they just did it. But I appreciated the fact that the labels were on there to let you know what was in the food. But again, 8 out of 10, just because it does not accommodate the guests that were with me, ages 4 to 9, to do more. That's it. Other than that, yeah, 8 out of 10. But if you like to sail on Utopia, reach out to Travel with Centauri so I can book you. If you like this video, please like, subscribe, and share. And I'll see you the next time. Bye.